Cardiff is the capital city of Wales and has over 320,000 people. Cardiff is the most visited city in Wales and the 10th most visited city in the UK. In 2009, there was 14.6 million visitors, but 13 million of those were just day trippers from the UK.
You know, from Belfast, Scotland, the northeast of England, London. Between Monday and Thursday, it's all basically commerce. So they're in, stay the night, and then off to work. Then at weekends you have the groups in. You know, we have coach trips in, we have stag parties, we have hen parties. A lot of them from the Americas, Canada, America, an awful lot from Europe as well. The occasional ones from Australasia, New Zealand, and one or two from Asia, but not that many.
You know, I'm noticing we're getting a lot more Chinese passengers coming now. So in fact, I'm actually learning a little bit of Chinese.
We get tourists internationally from all over the world, especially from Middle East, Dubai and Qatar and Arab countries and Eastern Europeans. From America, like 5% of it is American.
In the early days, there weren't so many international tourists, but in recent years, there's been a slow, definite increase, and I suspect, especially from the Far East.
Recently, the government invested £500 million in improving tourism in Cardiff over 15 years. The money will be used towards building more luxury 5-star hotels in hopes of attracting international visitors. Although no one from City Council was available for a comment, locals and tourists believe that the money could be used in other ways as well.
In terms of building hotels, certainly. We certainly need to have more.
Well, the government do have quite a good website, Visit Wales, which does a lot to encourage visitors to Wales and the Bay.
I think that money should be going towards maybe building a few more tourist attractions for people to come along, maybe putting more money into the museum, because people love to come to Cardiff for the museum.
I think all they need to do is broaden the tourist attractions. You know, we got the original stuff, but they got to bring in new stuff to bring in new tourists, if you know what I mean.
I hope it will involve working with local communities, and it will not be easy, but I hope it will be not just a kind of superficial thing, but it will bring them to Cardiff and will enable them to understand about the rest of Wales as well.
More train to go more far, not to stay in Cardiff because it's small. So.
It'd be nice perhaps to see maybe a bit more television advertising or something. And of course I've got no idea what the government is doing overseas to promote Wales. You know, so it could be just people in the UK that are seeing adverts about coming to Wales, but I don't really know.
And I think that Cardiff has many benefits, one of which is the fact it is connected to the valleys, and it was the most important port at one time for a short while.
I think Cardiff needs to introduce more direct flights, because I experienced myself that there are not many flights from Germany to here, and they also need to improve their infrastructure of transport by train.
And I think it needs to regain more of a kind of sustainable attitude. It's promoted itself as the newest international capital, but it's sustaining that has been more difficult.
Not a lot, to be honest. No, I think Cardiff has got is proper Cardiff. I don't think we've got to do anything more than what we've already done.
It could update its transport systems, airports, probably introduce a conference centre so you get more and more big multinationals in for short stays.
And I also think that it's quite expensive to travel to Cardiff and in Cardiff.
But I think it's not just what you've got a character in Cardiff, which I think is real. It's a kind of, I love and I hate Cardiff. I love it because it's unassuming and because it has a Welsh connection. I hate it because, they're quite ignorant. And I think we need to enable Cardiff to break out of its inferiority complex.
I think a better infrastructure to make things a lot easier, so tourists can find their way around, so more signs and everything like that. Just really basic.
According to the locals, Cardiff is a European city you do not want to miss.
Cardiff is just a beautiful city, lovely people, small, not too big. Anything you need is here, very convenient, cheap as well compared to London. So I would recommend anyone who wants to visit Cardiff. It's a beautiful city to come.
Absolutely fantastic. Most of Cardiff is well within walking distance once you're in the city centre, with the exception of St Fagans, which is a bus ride out, and Cardiff Bay. But I mean, Cardiff Bay is literally a 7-8 minute bus ride away from the city centre.
It's a Welsh place, and the Welsh language, I believe, is a key factor. It's important.
And Cardiff is a fantastic city. It really is. It can help. To me, Cardiff is as good as London.
It's a very tight-knit, close city, but which means you can walk everywhere and you can kind of feel the hustle and bustle all the way around the city and not just in the centre. Say like in London, it's all in the centre and you have to travel miles to get to places.
Well, it's less packed, so you're far more mobile. You can get around a lot quicker. Other than that, I think it just offers like a very, very friendly atmosphere. You know, there's no real hustle and bustle.
Well, I think we're a very welcoming city for tourists. We got rich history down here going back prior to the Roman era. And, you know, we got sporting culture, we got historical art monuments down here, and we're a very welcoming people.
Everyone's very friendly. I know being in London, people don't talk to you as much or kind of keep their lives to themselves, but you can talk to people in Cardiff and they're very kind and respectful and are really interested into hearing where you're from if you're visiting and stuff like that. So I think that makes it really, really unique.
No, it's just a great fun city to be in, and come and visit us. You know, we don't bite.
It provides a culture as well as history and maybe other things. It's not just a city of history. It provides the people make this city. And I think that's what tourists will see when they come and visit. So I think that's one of the things that Cardiff is great at, being a people city, not a city of things, a city of people.
Although the locals believe that Cardiff is a beautiful and unique city and that there's lots to do, tourists disagree.
No, I think just 1 week is enough. it's small, so for more time you can go in London, or I think it's better.
I don't think it's worth it for tourists to come there, because you can do it in half a day to see everything of Cardiff.
Cardiff Castle is one of the most visited sites in Cardiff. Located in the heart of the city, tourists are able to go and visit the castle and see inside the residences and have a stunning view of the city. Cardiff Castle first was a Roman fort in the late 50s AD. Its location provided easy access to the sea. After the Norman conquest, the castle's keep was built. Many noble families lived in the castle, and in 1766, the castle was passed on to the Boot family. In the mid-1800s, the castle was transformed and the residences for the third Marquess was built. After the fourth Marquess died, the castle was given to the city for locals and tourists to enjoy. Cardiff Bay provides locals and tourists another must-see attraction. Regenerated at the turn of the century, Cardiff Bay is home to the Sinead Building, the Doctor Who Experience, and many shops and restaurants for the people to enjoy. Ben Salter has been operating his tour boat, Daffodil, ever since the bay was reopened 15 years ago.
Well, look around you. You're in Cardiff Bay. Look at behind us. We have this amazing waterfront here in Cardiff. I mean, where we are now, this is the jewel in the crown. You know, in Cardiff, you've got the capital city of Wales. You've got the castle, the history, the shopping, and now you have a waterfront. It's like people tell me it's like Cape Town or Vancouver Harbour. You know, it's with all this going on and new stuff all the time. Even I can go away just for a few weeks, and then suddenly I come back and there's a new crane going up. Something else is happening. Lots of cities around the world, you don't see the development like there is in Cardiff. I think the best thing about Cardiff at the moment is the bay.
Although Cardiff is not seeing a lot of international tourists, the recent investments will hopefully change that.